All right, we're in Job chapter 15. Brother Sam, take it away.
Shalom, everyone. I'll be reading from the Scriptures 2009, verse 1. And Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Would a wise man answer with vain knowledge, or fill his belly with the east wind? Would he reason with useless talk, or by speeches with which do not profit? Indeed, you do away with reverence, and withhold prayer before El. For your crookedness teaches your mouth what to say, and you choose the tongue of the crafty. Not I, but your own mouth condemns you, and your own lips witness against you. Verse 7. Were you the first one born, or were you made before the hills? Have you heard the secret counsel of Eloah? And do you limit your wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? Understand that is not within us. Both the gray-haired and the aged are among us, much older than your father. Are the comforts of El not enough for you, and a word that deals gently with you? What have you taken to heart, and why do your eyes flash? Verse 13. That you should turn your spirit against El, and let such words go out of your mouth. What is man, that he should be clean, and one born of a woman, that he should be righteous? Look, he puts no trust in his set-apart ones, and the heavens are not clean in his eyes. How much less one who is loathsome and corrupt, drinking unrighteousness like water? Let me show you. Hear me, and this I have seen and declare, which the wise declare, and have not hidden from their fathers. To them alone the land was given, and no stranger passed over into their midst. All the days of the wrong one he is painting himself, and few years have been stored up for the ruthless. Verse 21. A frightening sound is in his ears. In peace a destroyer comes to him. He believes not to return from darkness, and he is reserved for the sword. He wanders about for food. Where is it? He knows that a day of darkness is prepared for him. Distress and pain frighten him. They overwhelm him, like a sovereign ready for the attack. Because he has stretched out his hand against El, and acts mightily against the Almighty. He runs against him defiantly, with thick-bossed shields. Verse 27. For he has covered his face with his fatness, and he has put layers of fat on his loins. But he dwells in ruined cities, in houses which no one lives in, which have been ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, and his wealth shall not rise, and his possessions shall not overspread the earth. He does not turn away from darkness. The flame dries up his branches, and he turns aside by the breath of his mouth. Let him not trust in falsehood, deceiving himself, for falsehood is his reward. Before his day it is accomplished, and his branch shall not be green. Verse 33. He shakes off his unripe grape like a vine, and throws off his blossom like an olive tree. For the company of the defiled ones is barren, and fire consumes the tents of bribery. They conceive trouble and bring forth wickedness. Even their womb prepares deception.
All right, this was the response, Eliphaz answering to Job. So Eliphaz seems to think that Job is falling away from the faith by asking the questions that he asked, right? That's what it seems like. Basically, like, what's wrong with you, Job? Why would you say such things? And then he goes on to talking about the wicked. Again, we got to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt, right? But let's see here. 12. Why does your heart carry you away? Why do your eyes flash? That's what my version says, the web version. That you turn your spirit against Elohim and let such words go out of your mouth. So Unless I'm wrong. I mean, he was there with him, but again, you know, these are friends who are a little flip floppy too sometimes. So, um, are they misunderstanding Job, or is Yahuwah using him to rebuke Job and try to get Job on the right track?
I mean, hey, I wasn't there, and I'm thinking that's the way Job was speaking. So I don't know. It's easy for him to assume that's the way Job is speaking. Like, we don't know the tone Job was using either. We don't know if he was yelling out of anger or so. What I got too was, it was interesting because verse I think it's 15 says, "Look, Elohim does not even trust the angels." So again, he's talking about, how are you going to see just in his sight when he doesn't even trust his own angels, who are direct creations of the Father? So that, I don't know, that stood out to me.
It's kind of weird though, because the whole story, Job begins with the whole deal between Yahuwah and Satan, that Satan can get him to fall, and the Father's like, no, you can't. What that to me sounds like Yahuwah had a little bit of trust in Job. So I don't know. That's what my mind is. I'm just thinking out loud. D-Rail, you want to say something? Go ahead, bro. I got you. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of going what Doug was just saying in verse 15. Look, he puts no trust in his set apart ones, and the heavens are not clean in his eyes. Now, how would they know that? What are they reading? You get where I'm going with this, Doug?
Where are you going? Take us there.
How would they know that Yahuwah doesn't trust his angels, his Malachim? They must have read that somewhere.
Come on, Doug.
Or
Enoch?
Or Satan might be possessing this guy.
True.
Because Satan knows Yahuwah don't trust him.
And Satan does slip sometimes.
Yeah. Satan slipped, he fell, and he took a third of the angels with him.
But I'm saying, you know how he always reveals himself in a way too, He might have just accidentally revealed himself again.
Right.
In a few verses or a few chapters back.
Right. Sometimes he exposes himself with his own words, is what you guys are trying to say. So we're all having an open discussion here. It could be we're gonna find this answer out, because it's gonna be exposed. It's gonna be revealed. We'll find out what the Father has to say about this stuff and what Job has to say. At the end of the day, I'm gonna listen to Job, because the name of this book is called Job. but we'll see. I don't know. I'm keeping an open mind right now. I'm trying to take away all biases and all previous readings of this book and how I understand this book, and freshly trying to think critically as we read along with each other. So, but yeah, that does sound a little, I mean, I can definitely understand the fallen ones. Yeah, there's no trust in them. They fell, but there were faithful ones. Only 1/3 of the angels. There's another 2/3 of angels that are still up in heaven doing their job faithfully. And again, like I said, the whole book starts off with the Father believing that Job won't depart from him. That shows a little bit of trust. Not that he has to at all. Yahuwah doesn't need to trust anyone, but it sounds like he believes he can do it. So that's just my thoughts.
I do think Yahuwah is a little bit more careful though, because when Satan was kind of like his right-hand God. He was the covering cherub. I mean, that he was right on Yahuwah's throne. I mean, if you ever seen like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever, the Ark of the Covenant, you got the two cherubs covering. It's a representation of cherubs covering the mercy seat. So Satan was like, his God. I can understand Yahuwah. I can see this as kind of having a little bit of truth to it. Yeah, he doesn't trust his angels because he's been hurt by them. So I can kind of see it the other way too. Like, yeah, Yahuwah doesn't have 110% trust in them.
Cool beans. What else? There's some good stuff in this chapter to talk about.
Well, basically, Eliphaz is trying to accuse Job of being a wicked person.
And that's far from the truth.
He's trying to say that you're just like the wicked one that would shake their fists at Elohim, and basically calling him an atheist.
I don't see that at all.
Like calling him, a mocker. So
That's again in the previous chapter. He started off with, even if he's gonna kill me, I'm still gonna trust in him. However, I got some questions. So to me, that shows still he's that's some faith. He's not acting like a wicked man that mocks Yahuwah and shakes his fist at him. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that personally.
May I?
But go ahead. Yep, go ahead, Miracles.
Eliphaz has always kind of still been on my radar because he was the one that had the dream with the spirit that went before him. He was the one that first came when he spoke to Job, talking, declaring him, saying, "You reap what you sow, so this must be because of sin." And I just think even if let's say Eliphaz is not possessed or anything like that, it's I I hear Doug in Eliphaz, the way Doug, in the sense the way Doug's like, well, no, I don't mean this bad to say. So let me explain what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you say, Yo may be questioning him in a wrong light. So Eliphaz could simply be saying that in the same thing. Yo, you're not coming correct before Yahuwah. It could be as simple as that. That's what I mean, not in the sense of any possession or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying in the sense of he could be saying, "Yo, your approach to Yahuwah is completely wrong, and you need to fall back and stop." I'm just being blunt and stop asking these questions the way you're asking them or whatever. So I when I hear Doug, it honestly it enlightens me to I think how Eliphaz is feeling. But I still have my radar on him because of all the stuff before me. Again, we'll wind up seeing later down the line Yahuwah's response to all of them. But yeah, so he's still getting hard pressed from his friends. So that was all.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that previous story. Yeah, about that spirit. He felt the presence. That was weird.
yeah,
I just looked up Eliphaz's name. You guys know what his name means? I just looked it up right now. I'm just curious. My God is gold.
Interesting.
But it sounds good, but it could be bad, right?
Wow, yeah, that could be taken another way.
It could be taken two different ways. Like gold is his idol, like gold is his God.
Yeah,
Riches.
Because you look at the $1 bill, that's a God. It says in God we trust, and then there's the eye of Horus on the back. They're not serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're serving the God, the deity of money. So that.
Yes, and I would agree. Eliphaz probably didn't choose his name; he was given that name. Just as I don't know if John, if you were asking that in the chat, it was me for Eliphaz, but everybody's name is given for a reason, though. In Scripture, you usually can tell a person's life and how they're going to live sometimes on their name. Sometimes the Scriptures gives it away for us. True, we didn't choose it the way. Yeah. I know. All right. Anybody else? Milo, you still want to say something, or I gotta lower your hand? I lowered your hand. Want to get back in?
Yeah, I'm actually convinced by Milo and Derail that it's Satan behind Eliphaz.
All right.
Because he is the accuser.
He is the accuser of the brother.
That's his title. That's what he does.
False accusations at that.
So, yeah,
for sure. Chapter 16.
I got another thing on his name.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
It also says the endeavor of God for Eliphaz. Huh.
So that sounds more good, right?
You think, right?
Yeah, that sounds more good. Like a sojourner, endeavor, a pioneer, somebody who endeavors. And let's see. Well, let's move on to the next chapter. D-Ro, you want to read? You didn't read yet, right?
Yeah, I'll read.
All right.
I'm reading from the ISR 2009. Chapter 16. And Job answered and said, I have heard many matters like these. All of you are comforters of trouble. Is there an end to words of wind, or what provokes you that you answer? I might also speak like you if you were in my place. I might heap up words against you and shake my head at you. Verse 5, I might strengthen you with my mouth, and my moving lips might bring relief. If I speak, my pain is not relieved. And if I refrain, does it leave me? But now he has wearied me. You have stunned all my company, and you have plucked me, and it has a witness. And my failure rises up against me. It bears witness to my face. Verse 9, he has torn in his wrath, and he hates me. He has gnashed at me with his teeth. My adversary sharpens his eyes upon me. They open wide their mouths at me, and scorn they have stricken my cheeks. They mass themselves together against me. El has handed me over to the perverse and cast me into the hands of the wrong. Verse 12, I was at ease, but he broke me, and he took me by my neck and shattered me, and he has set me up for his target. His archers surround me. He splits my kidneys in two and does not spare. He pours out my bile on the ground. 14. He made a breach in me, breach upon breach. He runs upon me like a mighty man. I sewed sackcloth over my skin and laid my horn in the dust. My face is reddened from weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. Man, he's going through it. 17. Though no violence was on my hand and my prayer sincere. O earth, do not cover my blood, and let my cry have no resting place. See, even now my witness is in the heavens, and my defender is on high. Hallelujah. My friends are they that scorn me. My eyes pour out tears to Eloha. Oh, that one might plead for a man with Eloha as a man with his neighbor. When a few years are past, then I shall go the way of no return. I like verse 20 and 21.
Amen.
He's still, like, you know what I mean. Elohim, my friends are the ones that are scorning me, but I still shout out to you, Elohim. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. That's good. That's a good end note there, man, because that was a pretty depressing chapter, wasn't it?
It was.
That was heavy stuff. I mean, this guy basically said just, Yahuwah the Creator, you're basically just stomping on my life. I have a little bit more graphic words in my version.
Right.
Like he cracked my neck in pieces and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's saying, you've done this all to me, and yet I still praise your name. In a way, he's saying that.
Pretty much. And I think this is giving us an answer. I think the friends are bad. Because he said, you're surrounding me with wicked people.
Yes.
You say, you've given me one hope. You've given me my friend Eliphaz, my one hope. No, he's saying everyone is mocking me. They're scoffing me. I think it goes more with the accuser of the brethren. They're seeing him as wicked, and he's just hurt.
All of you comforters of trouble.
Yeah. Where is that? Where is that at, Derail? Comforters of trouble?
That's in verse 2, actually. I've heard many matters like these. All of you are comforters of trouble. ISR 2000.
Wow, there it is. That's the answer. They're not true comforters, these friends.
No.
They're bringing more stress on him than he already has. Wow, that's very telling.
And
It's like, stop talking to me. I don't want to listen to you.
I like how verse 19 in my translation says, even now my witness is in heaven, my advocate is there on high.
Nice.
Who's our advocate with the Father? And this is before Yahushua's even on earth.
Right.
So at this point, they only know the Father.
Right.
They're calling the Father the advocate.
Oh, snap.
But yet the advocate is the Son in the New Testament.
Oh, snap. Doug just went there.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Miracles. Oh, you got more to say, Doug?
And I like how it says in verse 21, I need someone to mediate between me and Elohim. The mediator.
I love it.
Say that one again, Doug.
It's verse 21. I need someone to mediate between Elohim and me.
Oh, yep. Plead for a man.
That's awesome. I need
One
a-
that might plead for you. What does Yahusha do?
That's right. He's our advocate.
Hmm.
That's awesome, Doug. I didn't even catch that. Miracles, you're up next.
No, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I was just gonna focus on 15. Sometimes I like when they speak poetically, it says, I sewed sackcloth upon my skin and defiled my horn in the dust. And a lot of times when they refer to horn, it's talking about salvation. They cling onto the horn of the altars for salvation. People run to it and stuff. And in this sense, he's saying, I defiled that. I think he's just getting to like even my salvation is gone. Not in the sense of him losing salvation, but in the sense of how dark this period is in his life that it feels like his saving has fleeting him. And even though we see he's putting his trust in Yahuwah, so I'm not saying salvation as in like forever salvation. I'm just saying like in those moments of, I mean, even my horn that I would use to call upon you, my salvation I used to call is I defiled it in dust. I'm in mourning. I'm in sackcloth. I'm grieving. My soul grieves this entire time. But I do think it is beautiful the verses that Doug pointed out in regards to and derail before, behold my witnesses in heaven, my records on high. Like even in all this, he's still calling you, but I'm definitely grieving and he needs relief is what I'm seeing.
Hallelujah. Thank you for sharing. Go ahead, Brother D-Row.
Yeah, like he needs relief because in the Septuagint it says it's 16:16 instead of 15, but it says they sewed sackcloth upon my skin and my strength has been spent on the ground. So that makes that ties in with that.
So yeah, maybe it could be his own strength, perhaps, right? Because we're to love Yahuwah with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength.
Right.
And sometimes we have the strength to get through a situation. We have it. It's there. Yahuwah gives it to us. We're able to get through a hard time. But this one is like, I can't get through this one. This one's hard. I feel like I'm falling. I can't get up.
And my friends aren't helping and I need you.
Right. Very good, man. Wow. That was great.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. I don't know how much time we got, but let's go to the next chapter. Anybody want to read? It's a short chapter.
I'll read.
Brother Doug, go for it.
Okay, the title of this chapter is Job continues to defend his innocence.
Oh, snap.
My spirit is crushed and my life is nearly snuffed out. The grave or Sheol is ready to receive me. I am surrounded by mockers. I watch how bitterly they taunt me. You must defend my innocence, O Yahuwah. Since no one else will stand up for me, you have closed their minds to understanding, but do not let them triumph. They betray their friends for their own advantage, so let their children faint with hunger. Yahuwah has made a mockery of me among the people. They spit in my face. My eyes are swollen with weeping, and I am but a shadow of my former self. The virtuous are horrified when they see me.
Wow, verse 5 and 6 is so strong.
The innocent rise up against the unrighteous. The righteous keep moving forward, and those with clean hands become stronger and stronger. As for all of you, come back with a bitter argument. Though I still won't find a wise man among you, my days are over. My hopes have disappeared, my heart's desires are broken. These men say that night is day. Wow, that reminds me of Isaiah chapter 8, verse, I believe it's 12. Says, woe to those that call good evil and evil good. So I think in this context, he's talking about how night and day, they're calling day night and night day. They claim,
as far as good and evil is concerned?
like woe to those who call evil good and good evil.
Nice.
In Isaiah, because it continues on to say in this verse, They claim that darkness is light. What if I go to the grave and make my bed in darkness? What if I call the grave my father? A little creepy. And the maggot my mother or my sister. Okay, this is getting a horror movie. Where then is my hope? Can anyone find it? No, my hope will go down with me to the grave. We will rest together in the dust.
Nice.
All right, that is extremely
I
creepy.
like that. No, but I like that. We're all going to Sheol. Everyone's going to the grave. And he's saying, my hope is coming with me. I'm going to keep my hope in Yahuwah. That's how I just read it just now.
Yeah, but
Unless I'm wrong.
calling Sheol his father and the maggots his mother, that's a little creepy to me.
Where is
sounds
that?
like
What verse is that?
That's 14. What if I call the grave or Sheol my father and the maggot?
If.
Yeah.
If. It's a hypothetical question.
Okay. The maggot, my mother or my sister. I don't know. To me, that was a little creepy.
Right? If verse 13, if I look for Sheol as my house, if I have spread my couch in the darkness, if I have said to corruption, you are my father, to the worm, my mother and my sister, where then is my hope? So he's basically saying, if I was to say those ridiculous things, where would my hope be? Nowhere. It would be in the grave and in Sheol, which Sheol can't save you. The grave can't save you. As for my hope, who will see it? Shall it go down with me to the gate of Sheol or descend together into the dust? All right, my bad. I read it wrong too. So it's still a question. Still a question. He's still continuing with the hypothetical point. He's basically saying, I'm not going to put my hope in these things because my hope is not going to go with me. I have to put my hope in Yahuwah. Take that to the grave. I mean, does anybody have a different look on what he said there?
Yeah.
You know, if I put my hope in Yahuwah, you could take that to the grave.
Yeah, he's pretty much saying, well, in my translation, he says, no, my hope will go down with me to the grave. We will rest together in the dust. To me, it sounds a little depressing in my translation. It's like,
Yeah, yours read it differently than mine. I want to go back up a little bit. Feel free to jump in, guys. Participate. Verse 5. He who denounces his friends for plunder, even the eyes of his children will fail. That's showing commitment to friendship. He loves his buddies. He really, his whole life he's committed to friendship and has never stabbed them in the back. However, verse 6, but he has made me a byword of the people. I would never backstab my friends because it'll bring a curse on my life. My children will even fail. But what do I do now? Yahuwah, my friends make me a byword. They make me a mockery of the world. They're making me out to look like a wicked man. They spit in my face. What do I do? Should I still be faithful to this friendship? That's how I took it.
yeah, well, mine actually says Elohim instead of he. Because Elohim has made a mockery of me among the people. So that's a little weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I wonder where they're getting Elohim from. I wonder if there's notes.
Because the thing is, that's the problem with what is that, NLT?
Yeah.
They add words and stuff. So I don't even think Elohim shows up in these two verses at all.
I wonder if
But they're going from, I don't even know where they're going.
You know, it's like double Dutch.
Yeah, go in. I don't see your hand raised, that's why. Go ahead, Miracles. I don't hear you.
No, I'm telling D-Rail to jump in. It's like double Dutch.
Oh, go ahead, D-Rail, jump in.
I was going to say back to 12, and the ISR says they would turn night into day, and the Septuagint says I have turned the night into day.
It's what I call a game changer.
Yeah. It's my simple word.
A simple word, man, can change the whole sentence.
Either way,
Contextually, we're speaking about the wicked, aren't we? Most of the time in this chapter.
Yeah.
So I would like to say, for the most part, he's talking about the wicked.
or he's still surrounded by darkness. Either way, whether it's the wicked or his miseries, it's still the day of light is shortened because of the darkness that he sees in his life.
Depression. That's what it is.
Yeah, I took the whole darkness and light thing more of like righteousness and wickedness. Just the way my translation read it. Like they've changed light into darkness, or they take light for darkness. Kind of like that Isaiah verse in Isaiah chapter 8. Woe unto people who called put light for darkness and darkness for light. So that's the only reason I thought about that.
Yeah, the whole chapter is mostly about wicked people and how Yahuwah, verse 4, for you have hidden their heart from understanding. So what he does is he closes their eyes from understanding truth. Therefore, you will not exalt them, the wicked. So, yeah, I will go more with wicked. Anybody else want anything to say on these chapters? On these verses, I mean?
It's interesting that verse 6, the one that's controversial with our translations, I just looked up in the Bretons, says, but you have made me a byword among the nations. So he's talking about Yahuwah in context.
I don't like it, but it wouldn't be wrong either because Yahuwah is putting him through this test. He's allowing all this stuff to happen. So I guess I wouldn't harshly disagree with it, but yeah, I'll stick with the fact that he's contextually, the whole chapter is he's identifying the wicked people, the mockers, stuff like that. All right. That was chapter 17. Stop the recording here.